I'm gonna give it a minute because I notice some things when I'm being presented in certain places. There is a delay to when I start talking. So I just wanted to come on. Now, first off, some people play too much. You know what I'm talking about? Some people play too much. Now, because I know that I'm only being presented in certain places where there's a whole heap load of individuals that have karmic debt, I'm aware that you're not seeing the same things that I see and that you believe that I need you. So, what I'm going to tell you now is I see you, right? I see you. I understand your energy. I know what you're doing. Now, we going to keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to explain to you because you're hard-headed, right? That this is not what you want. Now, if you've reached out to me a gazillion billion times and you've already seen the contract because business people have contracts. You understand what I'm talking about? When you sign that lease, you signed a contract and you are to adhere to the specifics of in that document. You know what I'm talking about? So why you want to play with me? Now, first and foremost, if you don't use the medium that I use, then why reach out to me? I feel like you and a whole bunch of other people feel like if you do what you call a ritual by playing with me every month, that you can somehow stay in poverty like you want me. When I explain to you that I was in that life already, you know what I'm talking about? I actually know what getting it from the mud means. You feel me? However, because y'all are cut from a different cloth, you don't understand that I am not trying to be Ninja's baby mama. You know what I'm talking about? Because apparently you don't. Y'all aspirations consist of laying down. And mine's is speaking of standing up and upright. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't like to be played with. And it's these females that do it all the time. You know what I mean? And it's funny to me. It's funny to me because you feel like out of all the people in the world that you could play with me. And I attribute that to access. And this is the problem. Because when you feel like you could disturb someone's peace, you attempt to do it. You shoot for the stars. Like literally. And I'm saying, do you know who you're talking to? Because apparently you don't. Now, when you see me share a celebrity, we have different thoughts about what we're saying. You want to lay down with them. I'm trying to get some money with them. That's the difference. You see what I'm talking about? Your energy and my energy is totally different. Okay? When you're around, they lose. When I'm around, they win. Now, I'm going to inform you that you don't have no keys. You know what I'm talking about? Regardless to what you all feel about me, because I put it out there in the air where it's fair. What y'all are starting to notice is the real ones don't care about you knowing about an upheaval because they got longevity. You understand what I'm talking about? Y'all be around there faking the phone, acting like you're rich, knowing that is etic and it is not human because it says like hair at the bottom. Like your life. Fake. It's fake hair. You understand what I'm saying? So now you understand that when you reach out to me and you start talking about what you don't have, I'm going to ignore you because you are not about business. You know what I'm talking about? Now, I stated before in a previous live that if I don't respond to you at all, that means I am not rocking with you. When you get the blockity block, you'll understand. And then when you decide that you want to go live for the first time, you're going to realize that don't nobody care. They're going to say, that's one of them? Because unlike you, I'm respected in the industry. You know what I'm talking about? You feel me? Unlike you, I actually am a living legend. Despite if you know who I am or not, I was respected in my teens, and I'm gonna be respected in my old age. You understand what I'm talking about? Because I don't think you do. When y'all start attempting to act like you're me, like you're where I'm from, like you're my family or anything like that, they know for sure that you are not me. So you think you're fooling. I feel like media has a lot to do with it because you have access. You start thinking you like somebody while not liking them. Imagine that. I said I lived in the Jets. I didn't grow up in them. I grew up residential. You know what I'm talking about? I said that my father, biological father, raised me. You understand what I'm saying? You see the difference? You see the difference between you and I? Because I've already read your whole life throughout the 6 years. And you mean to tell me throughout 6 years, you ain't said, let me bless Ether. Now, of course, you didn't have to bump your head a few times, but you start realizing, wait a minute, she knows something. You feel like I don't have longevity, and I'm almost 50 years old. Imagine that. Imagine that. You just now know about me on social media, but in the scope, they already know about me. Imagine that. And I'm not an entertainer. How'd that feel? What they know about you is totally different. You know what a thought is? A pass around, a ripper, and a runner? That's not me. That ain't ever been me. So if they say Ether, you talking about her? This what you talking about? Oh man, she one of them. That's exactly. My reputation is not like yours, sweetie. Boop boop. What you need to figure out what you're going to do. Here, if I'm on the side of the street, the man upstairs is gonna make a way for me. See, that's what y'all don't like. Faith. You are the one that is comfortable. My whole life has been uncomfortable because you know what I recognize? When you get at the top, you still gotta stay there. That means you ain't got time to play. Every hour of the day is about an investment. Now let's talk about your investments since you don't use that medium. All of your baby daddies, not fathers, because there's a difference, don't like you. None of them. Now, and they looking for me. And not to get at me, you know what I'm about? Now, run tell that. Let me tell you something. For those of you that think you know my business, because I told you, this ain't that. This ain't that. I'm going to let you know real quick. This ain't that. Now, I'm on Gritty. You know what I noticed? The ones that want to play with me usually don't comment. They be there. They be there, growling, foaming at the mouth. You know what I'm saying? You ever just wonder why somebody don't like you and then don't care? It be the ones talking about they gonna pull up. Where you gonna pull up? How you gonna pull up? Y'all want me to be without a car. Can you imagine how trifling that is? Someone that you done spent 6 years, not 2, watching. You decide, because your life is in a can, and I do mean trash, that you want mine to be there. That's interesting. Now, when I'm joking, you know what I'm talking about? Intellectually, y'all don't like that. Because you want individuals to think you are me. And they know you don't have that much wit or charisma. If I were to open up the dictionary and just point to a word, you wouldn't know what that meant. That's the difference between me and you. Yeah, I grew up in the hood. I'm not from the valley. Hello? You understand what I'm saying? But I can act like I am. That's the difference between me and you. I know how to act, and you don't. Obviously. You know what I'm talking about? Would hate to see me with any type of celebrity. Y'all would hate it while supporting all the lames. You know, L7s, like your baby daddy. There's a difference. I often ask the Almighty, why? Why you do that to me? Why you put these old no's in my life? You know what I'm saying? But unlike you, I know when to walk away. You don't. And that's a shame. Won't nobody know who they is. Because I'm going to say, I don't know who that is. They tripping. It's been done before, and I actually didn't know who they were. I'm like, I don't know who that is. On G. Now, if you hear me say on G, you know I'm telling the truth. You know somebody named G? Because I don't. It's always the same. This is how I know you lame. It's always the same energies in certain places. This is why they think nobody see me. Because when they come on, it's a 1 or 2. You ever just feel like you're in a cipher? And not the rap kind? That would actually be interesting. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Y'all see any interesting videos? Because I did. I was on the ground. And you know what I seen? I seen somebody twerking on 5 car. You ever seen that? That's the type of stuff they do in the town. They just don't have no ucks. You know what I'm talking about? You be dodging them, and they twerking. We definitely come from a different cloth in the Bay. You know what I'm talking about? I said I didn't like the ones where I'm from, on this point, because they fake. I ain't say that about the town. You know what I'm talking about? You just gotta, they just gotta fill you out a little bit. Make sure you ain't after their baby daddy, because he actually take care of his children. Yours don't. They gonna say either, and you know what? They don't. But they got money though. That's the difference. Yours ain't like that. See, the Exhibit A. Remember that? Because I do. I came on so you understand. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That I know your energy, gal. So you don't want to do that. Because the way the Almighty works is he'll just drop something right in your lap. You know what I'm talking about? Or under your seat. When you're not looking. And then call 5-0. That's what she did. You know what I'm saying? You ever just be around somebody and you say they not right? Why every time I don't do what you want me to do, I got the clanks on me? You ever just been around somebody that realized they made poor decisions? You know, where the males and females realize that throwing them back was the reason why this happened. It graduated to the Walk of Shame. Then we went to the Uber era where they like, I'll call you a Uber. You know what I'm talking about? Because they do. They know exactly what they talking about. You know that I'm gonna meet you in the dark and then leave you in the light? I don't know nothing about that. Because when they meet me in the dark, they want to stay in the light. You feel me? We're not the same. We're definitely not the same. Now, when you decide to take that burgundy out, not cherry red, then we might be on the same level. Because them braids are starting to look like locks. You know what I'm talking about? If you were to ever meet me, you would do what the other ones do. Put your head down. Remember, that was me that said that. Bar, not a hook. You would definitely do that. Because first of all, you're too short. We're not seeing eye to eye. You know what I'm talking about? I wouldn't say nothing because I don't talk a lot. I do a lot of observation, not observation. Observation. You feel me? I'm going to say simmer down when I'm talking about you. Because apparently you think you hyphy. You know what I'm talking about? Fact. You know, they wouldn't like you in the town. They would not like you. You would be into so many tussles. You know what I'm talking about? They wouldn't like you, girl. They don't like you where you from. That's why you stay over there. Because if you were to go over there, near them jets, not in them, you know what I'm talking about? They would say, she done came back here, she ooped. You know what I'm talking about? Because apparently you feel like if you relocate to your mama house in St. Louis, there's somebody not gonna know you there. You know what I'm talking about? Don't play with me. Because I am that era. We do it slick. You know what I'm saying? We do it slip. We don't care if you see a stretch mark, if you see a hooker in our nose, because guess what? You can pick a hooker. Now that you have right there, you can't get rid of that. You know what I'm talking about? You ever just been sitting down in someone else's baby daddy car and realized that it's fishy? Then you say, maybe he don't smell it. Almighty, can you take the smell out of his nose? Because you, the man upstairs on call. And he got time to wallow in your filth, right? He just little minute things like, I don't want him to smell my ish. Then you leave out the bathroom with crumbs in your ootie. You know what I'm talking about? Crumbs. In the 6'9", and you realize somebody got issue crumbs in their ootie. Change your whole life. Changes your whole life. You know what I'm talking about? You ever just understand that air freshener doesn't freshen the air? It just masks it. Like, you ever see someone that you ate on all the time because of their preference, but you want to know where they got everything? That outfit, that wig, that makeup, that man. You ever just see a celebrity and you wonder if they attract males and females, and they a female? Because I haven't. That's too much business. You know what I'm talking about? The things that people ask these pendulums. Now, while we on pendulums, let's address that shoestring with his lock on it. Oops. You done messed around and found out. Here he is, running around minding other people's business. But a headache. See, this is why the Sister Phil Sanikicia say, don't let these vagabonds touch your locks. You know what I'm talking about? Because I do. It's spiritual. They get to snatching out locks, putting feces in them and stuff. Here you is think you having a good time, and someone say, what is that, when they sit behind you? And then they say, I'm not finna touch it because I know what it look like. I'm just gonna put their hand on it. And they direct your hand to some ish, and you can't figure out which one did it. That's trifling. They out here doing that. Yeah. That's why I'm celibate. And I do mean celibate. Y'all heard any catchy lingo? Like sell a bit and keep a bit? Because I have. So, the word around the YouTube streets is you got that from me. Go figure. Well, I ain't want to talk about it. Because they do. So I don't need to say nothing. Now, listen. Just because you know I'm POOR don't mean you gonna play with me. You know what I'm saying? Because unlike you, I have no problem with saying it's coming in slow. Y'all wanna know by my mouth what's happening in my life as far as an upheaval, while diverting everything that shows you about yours. That's too much interest. When you take so much interest in other people's lives and family, and then say stuff like, Almighty, please don't take them from me because that's all I got, while attempting to take everyone else's. Go figure. You understand what I'm saying? What it is no one has did a donation pool. So for the one that blessed me, it's gonna be something coming out for you. Now, anytime I do a pool, it's gonna resonate with a lot of different individuals. Now that you understand how to differentiate your role from the next person's role, you can understand that every time you click on one of my uploads, when it pertains to energy, that it is playing out some kind of way in your life. It might not be directly, but if you're moving about and you're socializing and you're working, trying to work, it's gonna resonate. Because this is how it works. My readings are timeless. Now, if you see a reading that says for the week of July 5th, per se, then that means it's not timeless. So we're going to normalize and tell the truth. Because when you're in my presence, you're going to have to. You ain't going to have no choice. Now, if the man upstairs wants me to divulge my business in the reading or otherwise, I'm going to do it. Because you know what? Blessings rain down when I do what he wants me to do. You don't know nothing about that. How you know Almighty didn't make me rich in one of my past lives? How you know that? See, you going by information that you think you know, but I ain't taught you the rest yet. So simmer down, youngin'. When I said y'all could learn something from certain eras, certain women, you only resonate when they indignant. You know that word? When they showing you their natural brown round. That's the only time you resonate. Y'all got to be the twerking era. Because every time we see you, it's from the back. You know what I'm talking about? You ever see someone that as soon as the camera go on, they turn around? Y'all done fooled people in this industry to thinking that their ooty matters. It's a shame. Because they don't know the difference between an entertainer, a celebrity, a star, wealth, rich, fame, and lame. Apparently. You know what I'm talking about? I blame you, celebrity stylists. That's what I blame y'all. And I say that because they feel like because you done blessed them with your hands that they Cardi B. You know what I'm talking about? They don't even look like Cardi B. But all of a sudden, voila. I think I heard Cardi say, my hair is really like that. I don't know about y'all, but I think, ooh, it's a different kind of energy when they realize you actually got hair under there. Because they don't. You know, it's 1,001 ninjas saying right now, I made the wrong choice. Because back then it was about Slim Goodies. You know what I'm talking about? Then you realize that Slim Goody looked like she 9-month preggo and she already had the baby. You know, we talked about this. When I address, they skinny because they legs little. If you skinny because your legs little, but you got a big old round stomach that stick out more than your ooty do, then that means you fat. You know what I'm talking about? Turns out that thinness was induced. Who'd have thunk it? Here you is, 50-something, and she 36. And you just realized that you got a big O in the future. A big O. Because I heard someone say, the ones that be skinny when they're young be thick when they get older. That's not true. Apparently, right? Put it in the comment section. Because everybody needs to know, Mitchell. You know what I'm talking about? Talk to any Aries lately? Because I haven't. I'm just saying. I done taught him something. He didn't think I could do that. It's funny how that happens a lot. You ever just been talking to somebody and all of a sudden my video pop up? And you like, what the? So you gotta play it off like you don't know it's me. You know what I'm about? And he said, wait a minute. She blocked me. So you trying to figure out how to use somebody else's phone so you can see what I'm talking about. They don't expect you to do that, Mitchell. You know what I'm talking about? Because apparently, I was just a jump off. A jump off that lasted 30 years. Ooh, wait, that's a long jump off. You must be tired. Because every time he see me, he want to see me again. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe you don't. Depending on who you are. If they knew you used to pick me up from the club, they'd say, what? Mitchell? You going crazy. If they knew I'd been to your house, they'd be like, what? Is you serious? I don't be talking and telling, but she do. You know what I'm talking about? You ever be an acquaintance with someone that everybody feels is the man, but they really working for the man? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's funny how that be happening. Somebody right now saying, I know that is not the same girl. I'm a woman. Phenomenal. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody trying to figure out if they know me. You do? I know. Because I see images. So, some would say, that girl been getting money. You know what I'm talking about? Girl. Because that's when they encountered me, when I was a little girl. And not the way you get it. You know, when someone says they are an escort, you expect to see them being escorted. But we never see you like that. You ever just been to one of them S clubs and realize you're not getting hired? Because I have. Turns out I wasn't about that life. And her neither. I blame you. You must have been the crew that came in when I came. No, I'm talking about. So, if you have dreams and aspirations of being one of them S girls, don't go on that night. Because that night is tainted. You're going to get turned around, gal. Let me see. What is he talking about? They know. They know. You know, my era, we had choices. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody got choices. We had choices. When we hit the street, not the pavement. You know what I'm talking about? Beating the pavement. You know what I'm talking about? We had choices. If you did it this way, they seen you this way. If you did it that way, turns out you got respect. You know what I'm talking about? I got respect. So don't get the wrong idea about me. All up in the cracks and crevices of the loins. You know what I'm talking about? Just all up and through there. You see all kind of stuff. You ever just met somebody that was so high class and say, I ain't going down there? Why you be down there? Money. It's money. You ever just decide that you was gonna show up somewhere and then you realize it's not the same? You just, I'm gonna try it one more again. This time I'm gonna do it different. And then you get down there and you realize it's not the same. And then you start surfing the World Wide Web looking for the promise. You ever just see someone come on real strong and you know it's because they POOR? I had a video walk up to me and say, I said, no, Because he was a digger. You know what I'm talking about? I said, I'm going to approach this situation differently. Because you never know. You know what I'm saying? They got that loco look on their face. And your Satan is looking through your eyes at that very moment, clocking their teeth. You know what I'm talking about? He said, are you single? You know how you get real calm, mild-mannered, and your head shake no when you say no? Some of y'all gonna get dead like that today. Because they don't know what to usual. You ever just realize someone's isms is showing today? All of a sudden. Every other time, everything was all together. You know, maybe after a hard day of reeling in fish, you just decided to give them a call. Then you realize that they got fat. You go in their house and you say, how come your walls look like that? She lived in a tax credit and her unit was clean. You just start comparing. Comparisons. Then you start realizing, wait a minute. I did see her as wife material at one point. You remember that day? Because I do. You ever see somebody that is deeply in love with you, but they don't know the words to say? Because it's an unusual feeling. When you run across them ones that's the man, and they don't understand what's going on, because they the man. You feel me? And you look at them, you see the love in their eyes, but they can't do nothing but put their head down. Because I have. Sometimes it's hard to say how you really feel. You know what I'm talking about? You ever just realize that your baby mama ain't ish? Because I do. And ever since you encountered that heifer, your money ain't been right. Because I know it. If I could just locate either, my life would be better. You ever just see a dude come to a realization? She ain't even like that. Which brings me to another point. You know how someone look at you and they feel like they know you? You know what I'm talking about? See, the era of men that I dealt with, they felt like they knew everything about everybody. And they could just look. Now, I'm going to inform you, that's that era that you're currently with, not mine. You ever just car thinking her weaves or wigs or whatever the TF that didn't look like that? And then you started realizing Everybody got choices. You know what I'm about? Now me, since I don't really like seafood, you know what I'm about? If I had a choice when I went to the beauty supply, not online, where she say she go, you know what I'm about? I would choose a better grade. That was the difference between me and her. I remember when you seen my locks for the first time. Remember there was little baby locks? Because apparently people feel like my hair was short. Ask Mr. Mitchell how long my real hair was. Because he seen it. You ain't. You block me, I block you. It's a nasty game. Turns out when I block you, I mean it. Now you understand what I said to you when you came home. How I encountered the information. How everyone else knew because it was eyes on me on the book. And when I said she wasn't right, you knew, but you didn't have no proof. The thing about when somebody knows you over 20 years, you tend to know the same individuals because you ran in the same circle, kind of. You know what I'm talking about? Funny how that worked. Couldn't nobody say either did anything because they didn't even know they didn't even know I was around you when that happened. So, since we here and it's a movement, now you understand why they all put me here. Because everyone thought I wasn't gonna be Ish. I say things that said energy on it for years and it'll be different. And just didn't know how to formulate the words. Because when somebody don't see potential in you that way, it's kind of hard to convince them. I know why it's like that, but you don't. So Ether stays in her bubble because you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You know what I'm talking about? Now, for those that feel like he's not into these type of women, you are right. Because when I was around him, I was a different woman. Funny how when you're in the presence of a man, your energy change. You feel safe, you feel comfortable, you feel protected. You know what I'm talking about? You don't have to be in masculine energy. It's a beautiful thing. Now, if you get a good home-cooked meal, know that it's because of me. Because somebody's going to text you what you want to eat. Or maybe not. Sassafras. Right now, I'm just thinking about what's gonna happen today. A certain level of ego is needed to move about. So when you hear me address this group of individuals that feel like because you're not down and out, they got a problem with you, understand that it stems from a group paradigm ascension. Because they're yelling things like, I want his life, I want his car, I want his wife, I want his house. Because they feel like Almighty is going to give it to them. This is why y'all got to realize that your logical thinking is not good for these individuals because they're illogical. You know what I'm talking about? It's a hard concept to grasp for someone that has worked or put in work for the things that they have. When you see someone and they got nice stuff, you don't say, I want their life. I don't. I say that's nice. I mean, I might put a thumbs up depending on who it is. And we here, we seeing eye to eye because gang recognize gang. Especially in the Bay, man. So we here. And we understand that when you got nice things, you want to keep them. You want to keep them. One thing that a famous failure has over the average is their ability. You ever thought about that? Not audacity, because they have a lot of that. It is growth, longevity. For those of you that are older than me, you already understand because you didn't live life. You probably saying, how did I make it and they didn't? The man upstairs. If I were to pass out right now, I already have a place. I know where I'm going. Do you? The afterlife is correct. That is it.